What a difference a week can make. In case you're wondering, the Panthers did in fact lose to the Patriots today, um, pretty badly, 42-13. And it's one of those games where if you didn't watch the game, you might be wondering how in the world did we get to that, or oh, they just got completely dominated, which we did, we for sure did. But how exactly did we get to that point? Because I think that some people are going to lose the fact of that at one point this game was close, and then by the second quarter it was pretty much done. Unfortunately, it was the case. Um, so for this video, I kind of want to talk about like how in the world we lost as bad as we did, and then also kind of talk about how the Panthers have done so far in this quarter of the season, because every single game has been so different. It's been so different. So let's start off with this game. Well, we start off the game and Panthers getting the ball. We started driving down the field, have a 70-yard touchdown drive where we're running the ball, doing play action passes. We're taking what the defense is giving us. And Bryce Young throws a touchdown to Tommy Tremble. And we're looking at like this, like, hey, we're actually moving the ball against the Patriots defense, and maybe we can have a pretty decent day today. And then the extra point gets missed, which is fine. Hey, Ryan Fitzgerald, his rookie year, first miss of the season, first miss of the career. You know what? It's fine. And then we kick off to the Patriots, 3-and-out. Sure, it was 2 runs, then like a missed pass by Drake May, but hey, 3-and-out. That's something that our defense, desperately needs. Just we need to get either some turnovers, some 3-and-outs, and then we take the punt. We start driving down the field. We get past midfield, and then we stall out. And this is the point that I wanted to start to make. In the first half, we were able to move the ball. Outside of that first drive, though, we continue to stall once we pass midfield. And it's at this point that I want to mention that once the Patriots get the momentum, after this point right now, it's where you start to see that we don't have a chance. So we're at this point, it's 6-0. We move past midfield. We stall out. It's fine. Okay, we're moving the ball. We'll punt. Our special team is one of our strongest assets. And I'm assuming that the punt return team thought that he was going to fair catch the ball at the 10, but he didn't. And that's Marcus Jones returns it all the way for a touchdown. Extra point good, 7-6, which is fine. It's fine. All right, it's good. It's good. We're only down by 1. Now momentum is on their side, but our offense, is able to move. Has been moving the ball. Let's see if we can do it again. So then we take the ball, start driving down the field. Once again, get past midfield and stalls out. All right, well, it's only 1-point game, which is punted away. That's fine. Punt into the end zone, and then the Patriots take over. So the Patriots literally have had like only 3 plays on offense. They're up 7-1, 7-6, and it's still a close game. But the issues that have been continuously plaguing our team, especially our defense, show up. We have no pass rush. None whatsoever. Drake May had all day to throw. And so, like, basically, when you have 3 to 4 seconds to throw, you can just go through your reads, check it down, go through your reads, check it down. That's what kept on happening. And, like, literally, we could not stop them. And so they're driving down the field. They end up scoring 14-6. It's fine. All good. Still taken down by a touchdown and 2-point conversion. It's in the second quarter. We're still fine. Well, it's at the beginning of the second quarter when they score, because they were able to drive down the field, basically back to the 5-yard line, and then score at the beginning of the second quarter. It's fine. 14-6. We're still in this game. They kick off. We get the ball back. We start driving down the field once again, crossing midfield, and then a sequence of a bad sack that Bryce Young took, where he tried to roll out and kind of tripped up, fell down. That took us out of field goal range, but we still tried to take a field goal. Still try to make a 55-yard field goal. Missed. So it gave good field position back to the Patriots, who are still up by 8, which is still reasonable. It's still not too bad. At this point, it's like I want to say close to about 9 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Only 8-point game. Patriots move down the field very easily. But the thing that ticked me off was the fact that it was a long completion to Stephon Diggs. They get down first and goal. But then we get helped out because of the fact that, yes, Austin Hooper gets that face mask penalty I think it was on Wharton, and backs him up. So it's first and goal, and then first and goal like all the way back to the 24-yard line. Then they try to run the ball, lose 2 yards. It is second and goal at the 26-yard line. Let me repeat it. It is second and goal at the 26-yard line. It is 14-6. You think, hey, we can hold them to a field goal here. And then on second down, they throw a screen to Henderson. Henderson shakes Nick Scott out of his boots, but while he's doing it, he's technically stumbling a little bit, and then Nick Scott decides to trip him. Now, if you trip somebody, it is an automatic first down and is a 15-yard penalty. So instead of being about third and goal from like the 18, maybe 15-yard line, because there's people around him that would have tackled TreVeyon Henderson, it's first and goal from the 11. Well, first and 10 from the 11. So instead of third and goal from the 15-yard line, where more than likely we could hold them to be able to just kick a field goal, we give them a fresh set of downs where they're able to score a touchdown. 21-6. All right, it's 21-6. That's fine. Not that big of a deal. Hopefully our offense can continuously what's been able to do is actually be able to move the ball down the field. Hopefully we can, make this work. We do not. We're not able to move the ball really at all. Punt the ball away. And then Marcus Jones almost has another kick return for a touchdown. Thankfully, Sam Martin able to trip him up. But it's still 21-6. They have the ball deep in their own, basically at the 10-yard line, and they're able to just score another touchdown. So that second half of the second quarter is when they were able to pull away from what was a 14-6 game to a 28-6 game, and we couldn't do anything at the tail end of the second quarter. So it's 28-6. Okay, Patriots, they get the ball, start the second half. Hopefully, we can get a stop. Obviously, we can't. They come out of the second half, 78-yard drive, scored a touchdown. At that point, it feels pretty insurmountable odds because it's 35-6. It's 35-6 at the I'm trying to think of how long that touchdown drive was. It was significant enough, but I would say it's probably around 8. It's probably 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and it just feels like nothing. We can do nothing because we've been able to move the ball, but every single time we pass midfield, we keep on stalling out. And like I said, it just gets to that point where we feel like we've lost this game, and you can see it on the sideline. And it's very demoralizing because of what happened last week. But I want to finish off this game before I talk about last week, week 2, and then week 1. But it's one of those games where it's a blowout, but it's because of a lot of stuff that we did to ourselves. The fact that we can move the ball, but then we stall out. Some of that's on coaching, some of that's on execution. The fact that we cannot get a pass rush. So basically, Drake May had over 200 yards passing. He had 2 touchdowns, but he could just sit back there and do whatever he wanted to because we could not rush the passer. We did a decent job against on the run stuff, somewhat, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter because if the Patriots decided they wanted to pass, they could pass. And it was so frustrating to watch because I was like, it's what happened last week. Last week we had no pass rush, but at the same time, Michael Penix just played really terrible. So we see that carry over from week to week to week where we have not been having any kind of pass rush. And it caught up to us today where if Drake May is able just to dink and dunk down the field, there's nothing we could do to stop him. And so that's what ended up happening. And we end up losing this game 42 to 13. We scored the first touchdown. We scored the last touchdown with basically pretty much backups in. We had our backups in. They had their backups in. And it's one of those things where it's a little frustrating because it's You come off of week 3 and then you lay this game in week 4. And now we're at this crossroads of like a lot of Panthers fans, not me, a lot of Panthers fans were way too, you know, oh, we're going to be going on a little bit of run here. If you watch the game in week 3, you understand how that's not really the case. So, talk about week 4, talk about the Patriots game. Now, talk about the Falcons game. Yes, we did win 30-0. And, our defense played really well for the most part. Some of it had to do with some of the play calling by Robinson, offensive coordinator for Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. Don't know why they kind of went away from the run when Bijan had a decent day. Algier only had one carry, and it was kind of obvious that Michael Penix was struggling. I don't know why he was struggling because, like I said, we would get kind of some pressure, but we had no sacks, no nothing like that. It was just Michael Penix making some bad decisions. The pick that he threw to Shaw Smith-Wade at the very beginning of the second half, like a floater. The pick he threw to Mike Jackson when it was fourth down and I think it was like fourth down and 6. They were at like their, I think like the 35, 40-yard line. It was a bad throw as well, but it was a bad day of Michael Penix. And that definitely helped because we didn't do really a lot on offense. Like as far as Bryce had an okay day, we didn't have like an amazing day. And we just kind of just capitalized on the fact that we had short fields. We had the pick six, we had the pick that got all the way down to about the 20-something yard line. And so we just kind of just did we did whatever the defense gave us. But it wasn't like an amazing day from offense. So we win 30-0. We're feeling really good about ourselves. We get a division win, which is amazing. Amazing this time. You need a division win. And then week 2. So going back to week 2, that was another weird game. It's another totally different game from week 3 or week 4. Week 2, we start off. The first 2 drives are abysmal for offense that put us in a hole where you have the fumble where basically the defender is able to kind of pop the ball out from Bryce. You had the interception where Bryce is getting pressured and he's trying to throw it out of a sack and unfortunately gets picked. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we set ourselves back basically to a 10-0 hole, and then because our defense is not able to get any kind of pressure on Kyler, he's able to kind of do whatever he wants. And so we start getting into a hole. But the second half comes around. We're down by big, but our offense starts getting things clicking. Our defense is actually able to get some pressure and force Kyler to do that stupid interception he did in the third quarter, I believe. I think it was like late in the third quarter. We threw that pick, and it helped us as we were driving down the field, be able to score again. We're able to get back into the game. We were down significantly, able to get back into the game. We almost win the game. Unfortunately, Old man Calais Campbell just absolutely came to play in that fourth quarter, got 2 sacks, and ended the game on a sack. And so it was like, okay, well, we were able to kind of show that we actually were able to, come back. We could actually, get offense done. We can have our defense actually play with well enough. We can either get 3 and outs, or we can get turnovers, or we can able to force punts. And then week 1 was, I would say, week 1 was, even though the score doesn't seem that way, it felt worse than this one. This one, because the fact that we were actually able to move the ball, I was like, missed opportunity, and our defense not able to get kind of scores. For the Jacksonville Jaguars game, we couldn't get anything done. We got a field goal, sure, but we couldn't get anything done. We let up that long touchdown run, and our defense tried to keep us in the game, but our offense was abysmal in week 1. At least our offense in this game, especially the first half, was able to get some stuff going, but we couldn't quite get it really in the second half. But every single game has been different, and it's the reason why I don't really know. There's still a lot of questions I have about this team. Obviously, the questions that are surrounding Bryce Young, he had the best game today, but 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals, he has his career day. Obviously they were up by big, but he's still able to kind of maneuver in the pocket, able to deliver. Week 3, he's able to kind of command the offense to where he's not really going to be asked a lot out of them, but we're playing turnover-free football. This week was turnover-free football as well, where it's it's not an impressive game, but the fact that He was able to move the ball down the field for that first touchdown. We're able to move the ball down the field on those drives in the first half. We just stall out. It's one of those things where you're like, I don't. Obviously, he's not playing like he needs to be in year 3 to really justify like everything we gave up for him, and the first overall pick. Is he a bust? Depends on your definition. He's playing okay, but he's not playing to that level, and we need him to. Obviously, Ted McMillan has been playing pretty well. Xavier Leggett's been hurt, so we can't really justify outside of that one game where he had negative yardage on 8 targets. Obviously, doesn't look good, but he also hasn't been able to help his case because he's been hurt. So a lot of like the trying to see how our young draft picks are actually been looking has been hard for us to kind of decide. There's been some positives, there's been some negatives, but at the end of the day, we're 1-3, but we're also 1-0 in division. Do I have hope for the season? Not entirely. My hope for the season is in 4 weeks, we'll pick up at least 2 wins. That's my hope for the season, is that by quarter of the season, we don't go 0-4, or we don't go 1-3. We have like a positive momentum going forward. Because at the beginning of the season, I said that we could possibly go 8-9. I was feeling like 7-10 is more reasonable of a prediction, but I'm trying to have a little bit higher expectation of a meaningful football in December, which I think we still can. Over the next 3 weeks, we have the Dolphins, Cowboys, and the Jets. 3 winnable games. And the main reason why I'm saying winnable is because I feel like our strengths against their strengths can make it a competitive game. The fact that the Patriots' defensive line has been heavily invested in. Williams had a good game. Milton Williams had a good game. Their secondary has been heavily invested, and they had a good game as well. Did help us out. But the fact that the Dolphins secondary is what it is. The Cowboys secondary is what it is. And the Jets, I just feel being a home game, it's going to be a scrappy game, that there's a chance that we could win that game. So my hope is that, yes, we were abysmal this game, but we really let it get away from us. Because, like I said before, we had opportunities. So my hope is we take away from that game some of the positives, and we look at the missed opportunities and try our best next game to really when we have those opportunities to actually execute. Because honestly, that's at the end of the day, that's what we need to do. Is I think the game plan was good from Dave Canales. I think some of the execution just wasn't there. And we don't have a bye until really later. So like really and truly, like we're going by the seat of our pants. Thankfully, the Buccaneers lost. They almost won. The Falcons ended up winning, and the Saints gave a scare to the Bills. So we're third in the division, but we do have a division win. If we can go 2-1 in the next 3 games, hopefully that we can put ourselves in a situation where like, okay, there's reasonable doubt in who's going to win this division. Obviously, everybody thinks the Buccaneers. I still don't think it's Buccaneers. But we do not play the Buccaneers till the very end of the season. So the hope is for me, for this season, is that this game lights a fire underneath us of like, we got embarrassed. We need to prove that like we're not the same exact parents we've been for the last 2 years. That's all I want. All I want is to see the fight out of our team to prove that we are not the same exact people. To prove that these young people that we put in, the people that we invested in, are actually going to show up and play. And if that's the case, if we can get that to be where we can win, let's just say some miraculously we'll win the next 3 games. That's 4-3. That's 4-3 going into Bills and then Packers. Going to lose those games. I'm not even trying to think about those games. But if you're 4-5 going into Week 10, you're below 500. But I mean, the Buccaneers about to go into their tough stretch. I think the Falcons are also going a little bit of a tough stretch as well. The Saints are the Saints. So my thought is that if we're able to pull out some of these wins, there's a possibility that we could be like maybe a game and a half behind the Buccaneers. And if that's the case by midseason, then just trying to find any kind of win you possibly can to by the time of the last four games, which are Buccaneers, Saints, Buccaneers, Buccaneers, Saints, Seahawks, and then Buccaneers. If we can get to that point, or actually no, sorry, it's Saints, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Buccaneers. Sorry about that. If we can get to that point, where we have 4 games left in the season, and within striking distance of the division, that's what I'm worried. That's what I'm hoping for. That's all I want. All I want is for us to have meaningful December and then in January football, because it has been a very long time since that's been the case. It's been quite literally since 2022 when we had a little run and we gave a little scare to the Buccaneers and they absolutely decimated us. That's all I care about. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of Panthers fans who want people fired, all this kind of stuff, because all this stuff has been bad. But those are the same exact people that were talking all that crap in week 3. My talk trash was just like very simple, just like, hey, we won the game, but I was not trying to be like all up there because at the end of the day, it wasn't as impressive as a lot of people were trying to say, 30-0, da da da. How do we get there? So my thing is this. It's a bad game on us. If you watch the game, you see that we had opportunities, we wasted them, and that our defense could not do diddly squat after getting that first 3 and out. So hope is revitalizes us. We're going against a easier slate of games the next 3 games. So hopefully, we can come out of there next 3 games either 3-0 or 2-1. If not, if we come out of there 1-2 or 0-3, then yeah, the season's going to be over. That's fine. If that's the case, then there'll be some conversations for sure, and you'll see me in 4 more weeks. Like I said, I'm going to be doing videos every quarter of the season to kind of give like a how we're doing, that kind of thing, review over some of the games. Yeah, this was bad. This was a bad one. And I'm sure that I'm going to get a lot of, like I said, I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Like I always appreciate to hear what people want to say. I still believe in my team. I don't think we're a good team, but I think we can be a decent team. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking to be the Bucks because the Bucks are a good to great team. I just want to be decent to sometimes be good. It's year 2 of Dave Canales, and so hopefully we make more improvement. That's all I'm asking for. 7-10, 8-9, not a huge. It's only 2 to 3 games above what we did last year, so I'm not really asking for much. But yeah, so this is the video. Obviously, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, this was hard to stream. So if you want to watch how I felt during the game, you could watch that on the stream as well. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.